So welcome to the church in Ocean Park. So glad to see you today. We're going to get started with a song that, for some of us, it's definitely an oldie, but a goodie. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. So, yep, we'll sing on mute and have a good time. So take a stretch. Oh, yes. Woo! Here we go. This is the day that the Lord has made, Let us rejoice and be glad in it, This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day, that the Lord has made. This is the day that the Lord has made, Let us rejoice, let us rejoice and be glad in it, This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. Well, welcome everybody that's just joining in. We're going to sing it one more time. This is the day that the Lord has made, Let us rejoice and be glad in it, This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. This is the day, this is the day that the Lord has made. One more time. This is the day that the Lord has made. Welcome to the church in Ocean Park, everyone.
Yes, Thich Nhat Hanh chant says, I have arrived, I am home in the here and in the now. And we'll sing that 3 times. It helps me get here. Whatever worry or joy or concern is on your mind, you can be here now. I have arrived, I am home in the here and in the now. I have arrived, I am home in the here and in the now. I have arrived, I am home in the here and in the now.
And we do have a reading this morning. And this reading comes from the Quran. Chapter, Surah. So Surah 2, 183 to 185. So Surah, which means chapter, 2, 183 to 185. O you who have faith, fasting has been prescribed for you as it was prescribed upon those before you, that you may become more God aware. Fast a prescribed number of days, but whoever of you is ill or on a journey, then fast an equal number of days. For those who can only fast with extreme difficulty, compensation can be made by feeding a needy person. But whoever volunteers a good act it is better for them. And to fast is better for you, if only you knew. Ramadan is the month in which the Quran was revealed as a guide for humanity, with clear proofs of guidance and the criterion. So whoever among you witnesses this month, let them fast. But whoever is ill or on a journey, then fast an equal number of days. God intends ease for you, not hardship, so that you may complete the prescribed period and proclaim the glory of God for guiding you. And perhaps you will be grateful. So ends the reading.
All right. Thank you, Dr. You really read well. I am going to share with you a song. It's called Alhamdulillah, and it is an Arabic phrase, phrase meaning praise be to God, and sometimes translated simply as thank God. So I put that in the chat, Alhamdulillah. Try to say that at home, Alhamdulillah. So that's all there is to it. So we'll just sing it a few times so you get used to it. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. 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 So it is a prayer. It's not a performance. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah.
Thank you, Louise. Thank you. Well, we're especially excited this morning and honored and grateful for our speaker. Her name is Marta Khadija Felicitas Galedary. And for this morning, we'll call her Felicitas. She was born in Mexico in the Guerrero state, migrated to the United States in 1983 and became a US citizen in 1988. Marta Khadija was the founder of Asociación Latino Musulmana. Oh, you'll have to say this when we get through. Musulmana de América. I'll just say LALMA for short. And it's based in Los Angeles. Now, Felicitas embraced Islam in December of 1983, and she'll tell us more about that when we're speaking. She's organized outreach activities since 2001 to the present, dialogue with Christian denominations, including Catholic Pastoral Juvenile of the Archdiocese of Los Angeles. And actually, she was just with a group of young adults about 176 of them or so just this past week. She is U.S. representative sponsored by the State Department at the first Latin American Muslims Conference in Spain. That was in 2003. And she's a State Department assigned speaker in the Citizen Dialogue Program organized in Europe in spring of 2008, also sponsored by the United States State Department. And she is in partnership with LA Voice in 2014, leading to a new approach in outreach to non-Muslim communities by civic engagement. And she also coordinates the Latino Muslim activities with the diverse multi-ethnic non-Muslim community. We're so glad to have her with us this morning. She's had a very busy week, not only speaking with the youth and young adults from the Archdiocese of Los Angeles, but also speaking with a large number of in a multi-faith dialogue for LMU, Center for Religion and Spirituality. So Felicitas, if you would unmute, and we're so glad to have you with us today. She and I are going to just have a conversation back and forth. We've been talking through this week. So
good morning to everyone. I'm so honored and happy to see all of you. And I'm grateful in advance for giving me a space to talk to you about Latino Muslim. Is that possible? Yes. Thank you.
yes. So first, since I did so poorly, could you talk about the Asociación Latino Musulmana de América? And I said that so poorly. Could you please tell us about that?
Yes. So LALMA means La Asociación Latino Musulmana de América. And we never thought we were going to form an organization. In 1999, we started to gather at the Islamic Center of California to form a study group to learn more about Islam, but learning in the Spanish language, because it came out as a need. Many new Muslims from Spanish speakers did not have the English skills to understand the lectures in Islam given at the Islamic Center right there. So we agree and form a study group. We must learn on our own, because there's not really any scholar at that time who speaks Spanish and just talk to us. So that's how we started forming a study group. And the reason we met at the Islamic Center, Southern California, because our children were in class. And then we're waiting for the kids. So then in the year 2000, we realized that there were a lot of passing by in the neighborhood, the Islamic centers in the heart of the Spanish-speaking community. And they were inquiring about Islam, and nobody in the mosque till now speaks Spanish, So either they were turned away or they were directed to us because we were already there. So therefore we said, okay, we just had to form a curriculum of classes, and everybody's going to contribute to learn. And that's how we started. In 2000, we structured the curriculum. In 2002, we adopted a nonprofit organization, but we were under an umbrella of other Muslim organization. But they said, okay, we can let you use our federal tax ID as long as you don't go over $20,000. And so, Yeah, sure, why not? So that's how we started via nonprofit. But later in 2013, we said, I think we should form our own nonprofit, and that's how we are now a nonprofit Muslim organization.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Now, in thinking about your growing up, you did not grow up as a Muslima, right? And so you have a very interesting history of going to study in England and the people that you met that helped to begin your journey.
Yes. So I was born in Guerrero in Mexico. And my parents, my father owned a ranch, and cattle had the land to harvest, and we were 11 women in the house. None of the women will go in the field and do the men's, ranch work. So my father, very smart, bought land in the urban area for his daughter to go and study. So I'm the last one in these 11 sisters. So I grew up basically between the urban area and the ranch. And I studied in Guerrero until my secondary school. And then I migrated to Mexico City, where I studied my bachelor's, and I earned my bachelor's in humanities. And I went to Catholic school. My parents, very Catholic. I have a nun sister who already passed away. And my mom, this is very interesting, cultural aspect on the Mexican. The religion is transmitted to the mother. The mother is the one that will preserve the religion and teach the children and take care of that aspect of religion. So yeah, she did send me to a Catholic a preparatory school, and later on, I did finish my bachelor's. I attempted to enter university, the UNAM, which is the major university in Mexico City. I didn't pass the test. I have these that always fail testing. Okay, so don't give me no test. And so then, since I did not enter the university, I said, well, I have to have some kind of degree, technical, but I need to earn a degree. And that's how I entered the nursing career. So I graduated as a registered nurse in Mexico City. And since I couldn't go to university, excuse me, I always have this interest in languages. So in my preparatory school, I took Latin, Greek, French, and English. But none of those, will have a probably an impact in Mexico City. English is like you see it in business and so forth. And I said, I'm just going to continue with English. So I dedicated 3 years, very intensive classes of English in Mexico City. So when I was to the point of advanced English and ready for conversation, I went to England. That's how I ended in England. The institute where I studied my English was from the British Embassy, which is called the Anglo-Mexican Institute in Mexico City. So they organize every year English summer classes. So it's like an immersion for those summertime where we go to a family who does not speak Spanish at all. And that's the purpose, to speak, to start doing conversation. And that's how I ended in England. And yes, indeed, I met Muslim students from Malaysia, but very tiny country of Brunei. Now, at that time, obviously I didn't know anything about Islam, not one word. And the students didn't tell me anything about Islam. They never tried to convince me about Islam. Nothing, just their behavior, their way, how they treat a woman with all respect, with caring, just like somebody, they care for this person, as a woman. So basically that's what got my attention. And so therefore, in all the sightseeing that we were taking, I hang out with my Muslim friends, which I didn't know they were Muslims anyway, but I like their attitude and a very healthy mind to me. So that's how I came across with a Muslim when the summer class ended, and I went back to Mexico City. We kept this relationship by regular mail. So can you imagine those days, sending letters from Mexico City to England. And so it would take a while, right? So one day I did receive a book, and it's called Introduction to Islam, and this book obviously in English, and then they have a special section for the prayer. And it talks about fasting and it talks about the basics of Islam. But obviously, I didn't have nobody to ask in Mexico City. No other Muslims, nobody. At that time, Islam is unknown. So then I decided to come to the United States. And I brought my book with me. And coming to the United States, I wanted to continue learning English. And then I enrolled in this adult school, Evans, probably Evans School and Figueroa in Los Angeles. And I met a teacher, and actually she, Caucasian teacher, married to a Senegalese Muslim. She became a Muslim, she being born Jewish, mother Jewish and father, she became Muslim. And then she's the one basically that took me to a mosque. That's how I started to become more interesting. And it was beautiful feeling when I stepped into a mosque, which I never been to. And from there, I started to attend the lessons that they gave to new Muslims or somebody who didn't know anything about Islam. And that's how, on my own research, I became Muslim the same year that I arrived to the United States. But I arrived in the summer, so by December, I give my testimony of faith, which is called the Shahada. And Shahada, the only thing it says that I believe there's only one God, and I believe that Muhammad is his messenger. And with those words that the person already has knowledge of Islam and feel it in the heart, that's how you enter to the large Muslim community.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, so Ramadan is coming up. So it begins with Monday night. Yes. It begins Monday night, and then for the next month, is it? So what happens if you are Muslim, but you're living in a non-Muslim country and you have to your work schedule? What is that like?
Yeah. Alhamdulillah, praise be to God. It is a challenging, but when you have the faith in your heart and the love for God, it will make you things unbelievable when you ask for God, for patience, when you ask God, make things easy for me. And then you get the response, it goes away. For instance, when at the beginning, especially at the beginning of Ramadan, your brain needs to reset the time of eating. And probably that's the most difficult part because now we eat like heavy breakfast, like 4:45 or close to 5 a.m. We are not used to eat heavy at that time, right? So now we need to reset our brain to eat at that time, drink fluids, and then the fasting starts 5:13, something like that. It changes day by day.
Right.
And that's the hard part. But when it resets in your brain and you ask for help to God, things will make easy for the fasting person. Now, what happened in the workplace, instead, obviously, lunch break, instead of you don't eat, you just go and either if you had an area where you can just sit down, if you don't have an area where sit down, I used to remember going to my car and read a little Quran or even take a nap. And that is a beautiful nap. Now, the co-workers, the person fasting is not supposed to announce I'm fasting. It's not supposed to do that. You just keep it to yourself. But after working so many years and your co-workers know you, so they know you're fasting. So some of them are very understanding and possibly giving you more grace than the other people, if possible. That will help. But at the end of the day is when obviously physically, your strength is kind of going a little bit down, but it's something that it can be done. Obviously, we are in the West, and the fasting in the East part of the world, or where the majority are Muslims, their working hours are adapted to the Ramadan fasting. Maybe some people even don't work the entire month. They take off the entire month.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty in a way that living in a Muslim country where everybody is doing the same thing and you have certain easy on your activities or work.
Mhm.
But it's doable. Yes. Yes, it's
Yes.
doable.
Okay, so just one more question, and I know
Yeah.
probably people will have other questions when we get
Yes.
into community sharing. I know that LALMA has evolved, moving from education into activism and social justice. So what can you tell us about that, please?
Yes, thank you. That's a very interesting question. And it's like my passion talking about it. You see, so for 13 years, 13 years, Latino Muslims became part of the multi-ethnic community of Muslims in Southern California. And you're talking about Arabs, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, and you name it, and Asian, Indonesia, Malaysia. So we became part of them. And all our activities, Sunday, Saturdays, festivities, events will only include them, meaning other Muslims, specifically for 13 years. But then an awakening happens. This awakening happened by two ways. One, by an African American Muslim, his name is Omar Hakim. You might have heard about him. He's community organizer. And actually, he's right now the director of the board at the LA Voice. So he introduced me to LA Voice, and he told me Sister Khadija, you need to come and talk to this person who's a Mexican also, and she's doing wonderful things for the community. So I did talk to Alma Morales, and then she opened my eyes. She said, tell me, what do you want for your community? What is your vision? And I said, well, we really, since we started, meaning 13 years ago, we wanted to give social services, but we don't know how to. And she said, oh, social services is good. Yes, but listen, LA Voice does more legislation. We make campaigns, or we be part of a legislation campaign, and instead of benefiting a small number of people by doing social services, when you pass a legislation, you're going to benefit millions, meaning in California, right? And I said, oh, that sounds interesting, you know, so we can actually do social services and help with legislation, right? So that's how we formed a partnership with LA Voice, and they had given us training in all areas. 2014, immediately we were trained to do canvassing, phone banking, in 2014, and I feel so proud to say that we helped passing that Proposition 47. I don't know, you remember Proposition 47 reformed the criminal justice, where they reclassify the a major criminal case to a misdemeanor, to people that only did like minor thefts. And do you remember that? They were like young people that just kind of went to a store and took candies or something very minor, and they were given such a hard sentences in jail for doing that. So we said, no, that a minor petty theft should not be taken as a criminal, because it's not a criminal act. It's not a heinous criminal act. So we helped passing it, because the most affected for this law, it was the Latino and the African-American community. Both are the most people in jail till now. And so we passed that, we helped. So that was great. And you know, it is a major beautiful experience I have by doing canvassing, because we were doing it in South Central LA, the canvassing. We were wearing our headscarf without knowing what would the reaction of the person where we knocked the doors. Beautiful. It was so beautiful. Everybody's so grateful to see us. We pair a Muslim with an African-American brother. And if we knock the door and an African-American person will answer, so the African-American brother will talk to them. If this is Spanish speaking, I will talk to them. And why? Because our brothers and sisters, Latinos and African-Americans, are living side by side.
Yes.
And South Central and other areas, you know. Yeah.
So, well, thank you so much. That is quite a story. And I'm sure there are many people on this Zoom call who remember that, the passage of that in 2014. So, well, thank you very much. And as I said, we're going to have a song now from Louise, and then we're going to have some community sharing, a little bit more back and forth. But before we do that, just everyone, please, we are so glad that you are with us this morning. Thank you so much. And we'll look forward to a little bit more conversation as we go. So thank you. So Louise, please.
Okay, now I want to share, we've sung it before in our church prior to COVID, and it has 4 parts to it. I have put some of the meanings and the words in the chat. The first part says Om Mane Padme Hum, and that is a 6-syllable Sanskrit mantra. And then the second part is La ilaha illallah, and we add the word hu at the end just because it fits with the song. It's more lyrical into the song. La ilaha illallah, who means none has the right to be worshipped but Allah. Then we say Shalom Shanti, which Shalom Hebrew, Shanti Sanskrit, and it means peace. Probably know. And then there's a part that goes Gloria, which is Latin, glory. Anyway, it's wonderful to sing this together. Of course we can't, but I'm gonna sing it anyway, and sing whatever part you want. Now we have community sharing, and I see a few hands up. One moment, please. Let me fix something here. Okay, Craig Ali, please unmute and speak to us.
Greetings, good evening, or good afternoon. I have a comment and then a question. And the comment speaks to, the basis of the group's The Assistant. It's ironic that one of the first European nations to be introduced into Islam by way of the Moors was Spain. And yet, it's to see Spanish-speaking people have to be reacquainted. I just applaud you for your efforts in more or less doing that, and may Allah be pleased with you in that. My question has to do with Ramadan. I was in a I guess you could say, a khutbah, which is a congregational meeting, in which they stated that you're not to begin your fast until you sighted the moon. And I'm wondering, I've known quite some time ago that tomorrow would be the first day of Ramadan, but at the same time, if I look outside today, it's quite cloudy, and there's a slight possibility I might not see the moon tonight. And so I'm wondering specifically, how does that play? I mean, in the past, I've always done it based on when the new moon comes in, but now I'm hearing I'm supposed to sight it.
Thank you, brother. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum
You are perfectly right on the Moorish culture that this new world might have some of descendants. On the question of the sighted the moon, every year it has been a little bit controversial between Muslims that they want to see it with the eyes, and the Muslims that we think astronomy and science has more exact date and time when it will happen. Okay. So for instance, in Southern California, the Shura Council of Southern California and the Northern California, meaning Canada, all these countries, form a shura. Shura is people that advise each other, right? So they said, no, we were going to follow science, okay? So therefore, tomorrow, what happens is that in the evening, they will see the moon, but in the other world, like in the Middle East. But for us, the fasting starts on Tuesday. Okay? That's what it is. So, yeah, brother, if you just follow astronomy and science, by the time Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, did not have this,
right,
science available. Otherwise, he would have done it. But they had to go by the eye. And like you said, how are you going to see the moon if it's all cloudy and it's so and so? Yeah, so science, astronomy will tell you this is the date. So
thank you.
You're welcome, brother.
Jean Gasca, unmute and speak to us.
Hi, I just have a quick question. Looking at the information that was put in the chat, Alhamdulillah is praise be to God. And the first thing I thought of was the Alhambra in Spain. Was that built as a Muslim fortress or palace? Do you know? And Alhambra, it doesn't matter if you know about the history of.
Yes, I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
So what does the name Alhambra mean?
Alhambra means la red. It comes from the Arabic word. Al is la, and the other part is red. Because if you had been to see the Alhambra in Spain, is built like a reddish brick, so it looks red. So that's why it's called La Red, but obviously in Arabic it's Alhambra. It sounds like Alhambra. Yeah. So it's La Red.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Linda Bond.
Thank you so much. I wanted to share something that sort of build on what Craig said about Al-Andalus and the legacy of Muslim Spain, which is one of the areas of my academic study. I would say that an important one of the things that I have spent a considerable amount of time in my academic work has been looking at the legacy of convivencia, of living together, of Christians, Jews, and Muslims in Muslim Spain between the period of 711 and 1492. And I think that history is an important thing to share with people in the United States in particular, based on the amount of Islamophobia that has been an important factor in American culture for at least 20 years. It's clearly not something that was invented by 45. So I want to offer my services. I have an annotated bibliography and a semester course of study for the history of Al-Andalus. And I want to, as the people in this church know, I always have a book I want to recommend. So I'm going to put a book in the chat. It's called, by a scholar of the poetry of Al-Andalus. It's called The Ornament of the World: How Muslims, Jews, and Christians Created a Culture of Tolerance in Medieval Spain. It's really a beautiful and very accessible book. And I'll put my email in the chat if anyone wants my entire annotated bibliography and lesson plans, okay?
Thanks, Linda. Is that it? Thank
That's
you.
it.
Dr. Kim.
Yes, I wanted to ask Felicitas, what is it like? And I know you and I talked a little bit about this before. What is it like being a Latina Muslima in Southern California? What is that like for you? What's your experience?
Actually, it's not that hard as you might think it is, for several reasons. Number one is I speak the language, Spanish, where probably 50% of people speak here in the Los Angeles County. I look Mexican. I have the culture. I never left my culture. I'm very proud of my ancestors, whether we're indigenous Zapoteco or some kind of indigenous classification. I never done DNA on the indigenous thing from Mexico, but I know my ancestors came from Asia. See, now it hasn't been that hard, again, because of the language and the culture. And also, let me tell you, there another little detail. I wear my headscarf when we're doing this type of event because it identifies me as a Muslim, right? When we are doing interfaith with the Catholics or any other interfaith with any other religion, I wear it again because of identity. If I wear it, you know I'm Muslim, right? But in my daily life and at work, I don't want to stick out like I'm the Muslim or I am Muslim, which it doesn't have to be but you're looking. Being a Muslim, it has to identify you with your actions, you know, how you do at work, how you get along with your coworkers, what you do for others. That is the best way to say I'm a Muslim, instead of just wearing a headscarf and people wear these Middle Eastern gowns that go all the way down. I wear normal, regular clothing. And again, I wear my headscarf when I needed to for identification, but not to go in the street wearing a Middle Eastern clothing. So that has helped me a lot, you know, honestly. So it has been easy on me. And again, when people start knowing you, what you do, and your neighbors, it's respect comes with it.
I know you were telling me about some of the social justice work that LALMA does in terms of the wider Latinx community, like having rapid response teams and things. Can you just talk a little bit about that, please?
Yes. So after the 2014, when we had this awakening that, oh, we need to go back to our Latino community, non-Muslim community, because we have same needs, immigration, housing, medical care, and so forth. It doesn't matter you're a Muslim, you have the same needs to those non-Muslims, right? Latino non-Muslims. So the first thing we did was to try to make them aware to the other Latinos, Muslims, that we're doing what we were doing, just hanging out or just gathering with Muslims without going outside. So we started doing this awakening to the group that we opened in Fontana, and then a group that we opened in Anaheim. And we introduced them to the local grassroots organizations. We have an OCO in Orange County, the Orange County Community Organization for Change, that's OCO. And then in Fontana, the ICUC, the Inland Community Organization. So that was the first step. Brothers and sisters, yes, praying and doing what we're doing is the best, but we have to fulfill our responsibility stated in the Quran. Stand up for justice is very strong in the Quran, and Brother Craig Ali will affirm that. Standing for justice is a mandate. And if we're going through all these injustices, let's have our voice heard. We cannot do this alone. It has to be done like something like you are doing, forming coalitions with other grassroots organizations. And this way, we impact legislation all together. That's the only way we can work. So yes, we do the little social services of distributing grocery boxes, giving backpacks every summer to the community. And we do this with collaboration of either the Indonesian Muslims or from the any other organization that want to work with us. So we do in coalition with all of them. Yeah. Thank you.
This has been really wonderful. And many of you have heard this experience, but I'm a kidney doctor, and I worked at the county hospital out in the Inland Empire. And I was very much involved the day of the shootings that happened out in San Bernardino, 5 years ago, or however long it was. And that Inland Empire community is really fascinating. And I ended up having some amazing conversations where many of the Muslim women were calling me to ask me or talk out with me in real time what they should do with wearing their headscarves. And I apologize if I use the wrong terminology, but they were scared, and they were scared about their daughters. And in the Inland Empire, there of course are Muslims that are from different countries. So they all have their own traditions and their own ways of doing it. For me, it was an amazing opportunity to learn from people, women, why they wore the headscarf, and any preconceptions that I had, I needed to learn more. And the other thing was, it was really great for me that they asked me for help, because I was, as a white person, the one that could protect them. I had the privilege. Now, I didn't know what to do, but we were working it out in real time. And I just really love that community. I've seen it grow, and it's really diverse. And so I'm so glad you've come to talk to our church. Thank you.
Okay, I think Craig wants to say another comment. You'll get the last word here, Craig. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. In relationship to what the sister said about activism, if we look at the life of El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, more commonly referred to as Malcolm X, he had made a pilgrimage. And when he came to the realization that he was not only standing in lockstep and praying to the same God as many Africans, there were also Europeans in that. And he, more importantly, had a recommitment to the question of those white people not seeing themselves as white, but as human beings. And we're all deserving of that respect. That, in a sense, differentiated him from what we see as the Nation of Islam and that black form of nationalism that's also Christian. That's not to say that those brothers that follow Allah aren't wrong. It's just a different aspect. And the idea that he can embrace all people as human beings is what I think it was intended, from Allah within that. And that is, probably one of the more significant things in terms of activism that we bring to that table.
That's all the time we have for community sharing. Thank you, everybody. I'm just going to do a quick song here. I'll sing it 3 times, first in Spanish, then in English, and then in Spanish. It comes from the Taizé International Community in France, and it's called By Night or De Noche.
La fuente, solo la sed nos alumbra, solo la sed nos alumbra. By night we hasten in darkness to seek for the living water. Lights us onwards, only our thirst lights us onwards. De noche haremos de noche, que para encontrar la fuente, solo la sed nos alumbra. I love that one.
Yes, thank you so much, Louise.
It's much more beautiful with 4 voices, soprano, alto, tenor, bass, but we do the best we can. Time for announcements. Thank you, Kim. Let me share that. Okay. Okay, in 2 weeks, Joshua Tree camping trip. If anybody has anything to say about any of these announcements, please interrupt.
Yeah, I'll just chime in on this. Yeah, we're coming up on the camping trip. If you want to join us, we still have a few spaces left. As it says, click here, and that will take you to the Eventbrite sign up. And you can also be part of the team organizing it if you want to help with groceries. That's the main thing we need is, figuring out what to eat and buying it. Thanks.
And by the way, if you don't get this announcement thing on Wednesdays, let me know, put your name and email in the chat, and we'll make sure you get a copy of this. And you cannot click here on the screen, of course, so you'll need to get that. Committee for Racial Justice, CRJ, is meeting tonight to talk about Eviction Tsunami Part 2. That's tonight, 6:30 to 8. The Committee for Racial Justice Book Group will be meeting on Saturday, May 1st, 10 to 12, and we're probably almost at the end of Stamped from the Beginning by Ibram X. Kendi. If you want to join that, it's not too late. Never too late. Put your name and number in the chat and let me know. Communitas is coming up next month, May 22nd. And it's time to sponsor or buy tickets. So please look into that while you can. It's going to be on, we'll get tickets on Eventbrite. Sponsored deadline is April 25th. Maybe you know who you are. If you haven't done it yet, you can still do it. Our honorees are Jean Gasca, who's on the call today, Larry Dilge and Mimi Kennedy, and Justice LA. Karen Gunn will be our MC. This Tuesdays at 2, Jean Gasca curates various programming. 2 to 2:45, we're going to have poetry reading. We've been enjoying this very much. The Church in Ocean Park Board will be meeting Sunday, April 18th at 12:30. Take action to support Santa Monica tenants.
Could I say something, Louise?
Yeah.
About the Tuesday group, I am interested in, I've done a couple sessions, but interested in maybe bringing about ongoing discussion about COVID and how, and all the issues coming up, be it related to the vaccine or even related to the experience of people within our group who have contracted COVID. And my intent is that if this is something that people enjoy, there's one coming up, I don't exactly know the date, but I want to make it so it's accessible and not depressing, but in a way where we develop the intuition of people. And, I have the scientific background, but I could translate it to something that benefits our community. So if you see the emails, that's my intent. Thank you.
Thank you, Claudia. I think your Tuesday is April 20th, the week after.
Okay, and if people want to have questions they want me to address, I'm happy to. I really can't, I've been sick, so what else do I have to do? So it's really been great. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Next Sunday, Reverend Janet is going to speak, April 18th.
Hooray!
We have been posting every Sunday on YouTube, and it's there now. I mean, today's will be there in a couple of days. Please keep donating to church. We need it, of course. Not too much money's coming in. From rentals. Thank you all for donating. You can text, you can go to the website, you can even mail a check.
Thank you so much, Louise. Thank you. And hooray for Reverend Janet speaking next week. It'll be great, great to hear her again. So now it is time for joys and concerns. So if you have a joy you'd like to lift up, if you have a concern, birthday, anniversary, please put it into the chat. And our dear Louise, who we've been working so hard today, you are wonderful. Thank you so much, Louise. She will play some music. And so please write what you would like into the chat, and then we'll read it out. Make sure we get your birthdays, and also that we can do a little bit of singing, including to Jean, whose birthday is today.
Spirit of the living God, fall afresh on me. Spirit of the living God, fall afresh on me. Help me, mold me, fill me, use me.
can hardly believe the beauty I see. I think we'll do birthdays now. We can sing some birthdays. Jeannie, you want to share who our birthday people are? Including you.
So far today is my birthday.
Yay.
And Kevin turned 28 and his cousin Sarah also had her birthday. So we'll sing to Jean, Kevin, and Sarah. If anybody else wants to put their name in the chat or wave your hand, we'll be on the lookout. Wendy?
Yeah, Gino, my grandson.
All right. We'll add Gino.
And what
Gino.
about
Hey.
the new baby? Laura,
Yes, Decker.
Baby Decker?
Oh, right. True. All right.
Okay, so I'll start off. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Decker. Happy birthday, dear Kevin. Happy birthday, dear Sarah. Happy birthday, dear Gino. That's Gino. Happy birthday, dear Jeannie. Happy birthday to all of you.
Okay. A quick little chant before we say goodbye. My predecessor, Eleanor Graham, says this is a Palestinian chant. Tumba, tumba. Oh, wait, that's not good. Tumba, 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 tum, tumba, 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 tum, tumba, 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 tum, tumba, 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 tum. La 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 la. Janet, dance for us. Yes, Janet, Janet, dance for us. Tumba, 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 tum, tumba, 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 tum, tumba, 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 tum, tumba, 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 tum, tumba. La 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 One more time. Hey.
Hey. All right, then we're going to close with our carry on. We're going to wrap our arms around the world and give everybody in the world a hug. And we're going to grab arms and we're going to say together, carry on. 1, 2, 3. Carry on.
Carry on.